How do you win a game with 28 turnovers?
I don't know. I guess when they go 0 for 17 in the first half from 3, it helps out.
Boxing out and baller of the night time. Evans, right away, what's your stat of the night?
My stat of the night. My stat of Paul Pierce's career, 1899. That's his career total three-point shots made.
Wow.
I was hoping for 1900 tonight. There's only 4 guys in league history with 1900 threes. It's Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, Jason Kidd, and Jason Terry.
Wow.
And I was hoping for Pierce to be the 5th one in that club. He went over 4, did not hit number 1900, so we'll not get to see it. Oh well.
Everybody but Reggie Miller is affiliated with both of these teams.
Yeah, they've all been on the Nets this season except for Reggie Miller.
And there's now more non-Jasons than Jasons in that club.
Whoa.
That's a pretty monumental occasion in the history of
That's
Jasons.
pretty monumental.
All right, Jimmy.
You good?
I don't know if it's going to match that. We'll see.
No, it's not. It's not. But the stat is 4 of 30, and that's the Nets three-point shooting tonight,
Speaking
which
of
was just
three-point
atrocious. Weren't they 0 for 18?
0 for 17 at the
over
half,
17
yeah.
at the half.
Rondo was
It's
3
just-
for 3. The Nets team was over 17.
That is just god awful.
Which has got to be near a record.
I think it was
That's massive.
I think it was like the 4th most in league. Like, I saw that if the game ended at they were 0 for 20, they would have been like the 4th most in NBA history, like the 4th most with an 0 for.
But
in
in one
history.
half, over 17's got to be
they
the
lost
most
by-
misses
they-
without a make, right?
I don't know if it's history, but it's definitely up there.
I feel
but,
terrible for anyone else that had to live through anything worse than that.
Right.
Yeah,
they lost by
seriously.
7 points, and to shoot that point from the game, that's probably the main reason they lost.
Yeah, if the Nets make 3 more threes, they win. If
Or if
they
they-
go
some of those
7
threes
for
are
30, which is
twos.
still bad.
Right. So that's my stat.
So the Nets could have had a terrible three-point shooting game and still have won this game.
yeah,
Easily, yeah.
definitely.
And don't forget, it was a lot of garbage time too. So that part of that, I mean, the Celtics.
But their missed threes came during the non-garbage part.
Well,
the
no,
very
I'm
last
saying-
shot of the
I'm
game.
saying- I'm
the very
saying-
last shot of the game was a 3, and that went in.
Yeah, but it was an 18-point lead for the Celtics, and then things kind of got a little bit garbagey in the third quarter, and the Nets kind of made a comeback there. So
The
Garbage
Celtics
in
were up by
third
1 in
quarter.
the third
Have
quarter.
Have you watched the Celtics this season? How many games
it's
they've
true.
blown?
That's true. 18
There's
leads get
no
blown pretty
garbage
easily.
time.
No, they
I
were
mean,
up by like 1 or 2 points in the third quarter.
I mean, the Blazers made a 30-point comeback tonight, so I guess anything can happen.
Yeah, and then lost. Yeah.
Exactly.
We're getting off topic.
Okay.
We're getting very off
So, because I
topic.
got a few numbers here. So, the turnovers for the Celtics is a big one. They had 28 turnovers and still won this game because of the three-point shooting there. And this is kind of indicative of the three-point shooting, but the defensive rebound differential is 20, 39 defensive rebounds for the Celtics, which is still 11 more total than the total rebounds for the Nets if you give them their offensive rebounds there. And then 0 lead changes, 0 times tied, 0 is the biggest lead for the Nets.
Numbers on numbers
Yeah,
there.
so numbers on numbers there. All right, so Jimmy,
Stats. Sorry.
players of the
players
night.
Okay, well, we
Baller.
talked about him in the last video, but Rajon Rondo, I think he's the
Yeah, he's
clear-cut
good.
player of the game, baller of the night. It's just good to see Rondo expanding his game to behind the three-point line. That's my main takeaway from this game and a few other games that I've watched. And he just looks more comfortable out there, even, like I said, with that one play where he fell and kept the dribble alive. So we're seeing more and more of the Rondo that we're used to seeing, and that's honestly the best thing you can take out of this season.
Yeah. All right. I mean, Rondo's obviously the player of the game, but for variety's sake, I'll
Sure.
go Kelly Olynyk. The guy had 7 rebounds tonight. He's had a lot of big rebounding games lately. I think early in the season he was a little bit too tentative to get into the paint and fight for boards. That's not really the case anymore. He's getting in there. He's getting rebounds. He's helping them keep possessions alive offensively. I think he had a couple of offensive boards in this one. Actually, he had 3. So yeah, he's really helping them offensively and defensively with his rebounding. That's big.
And he had a little attitude. Did you see that thing with Sean Livingston tonight?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Livingston was trying to put like after the loose ball, after
Right.
a buzzer.
Whistle.
He was trying to, yeah.
After the whistle, he was trying to
can't
like go
talk.
back up with a bond, and Olynyk just wouldn't let him, and Livingston was
Yeah.
just like, you just stir him down, like.
It's pretty great.
Olynyk just, whatever.
And then Livingston fouled out of the game. And then
Olynyk also fouled out of the game.
It was like the funny thing is there
lot of
were
fouls.
so many bodies hitting the deck tonight, so many guys fouling out, and that
Yeah.
was really the only kind of like beef that went on throughout the
Right.
entire night. Such a
Yeah.
physical game. Yeah.
Good point.
All right, so for me, it's Chris Babb, kind of a weird one, swish sort of.
First
but-
ever. Congrats.
But
Congrats,
Babb,
Chris.
what was the shooting? So Chris Babb in
2 for
the
4.
Golden State game went 2 for 5. The last game against or tonight went 2 for 4. So he's been pretty
Couple of
consistent.
threes.
Exactly. So he's been pretty consistent in what he's doing. He's just taking threes for this team. He's just hustling on defense, doing the 3-and-D roll. We talked to
Paul
Brad.
Pierce.
Yeah, we talked to Brad. A little bit different than Paul Pierce. I'd say.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You said.
He's getting there.
So we talked to Brad Stevens about it after the game. Let's take a look at what Brad had to say.
It hasn't been a ton of time, but Chris Babb is nearing the end of his 10-day contract. I mean, what have you seen
out of him so far? And then also, what's it been like having this new tool in the NBA where you get to bring in players for a week and a half and then decide whether or not they make the team?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The best compliment I can give him, it's kind of like when I sat up here about Chris Johnson. I hope like heck he's back with us on Monday, and he's a perfect fit for what we need. As far as he's not going to play 38 minutes a game. He's going to come in, get open shots, hopefully knock those open shots down, play off of other people, and then be a feisty defender for us. And he really is an outstanding defender for a young guy. I credit him and certainly the coaching he's received, in college and now. But he's an outstanding defender as a team player and as an individual.
All right, so last thing here before we wrap it up is Jason Collins. He comes back to Boston where he played before, where there's a pretty huge LGBT community, one of the biggest in the country, and he doesn't even get out on the court. Doesn't get that ovation that you knew he was going to get, which would have been one of the biggest ovations he's gotten this year. I mean, Evans, just because you're looking at me closer than Jimmy, we'll go to you first. That's a good look. How do you feel about Collins not getting any action tonight?
I mean, I'm okay with it in the sense that he's being treated like any other player. He's getting to each new city and each new game, and there's no fanfare anymore. He's just a guy doing his job like a professional, and that's the way he should be treated. I don't think Collins wants any special treatment. He just wants to be one of the guys playing basketball, and that's what he is. He's not the best player on the team. He's a 35-year-old journeyman center, and he's not going to play every game, and that's fine. That's just the way he should be.
I agree. They were down by the Nets were down by a lot of points for most of this game, and one thing Collins doesn't provide is points.
He does not do that.
And I agree with exactly what you said. I mean, if this was last season, would Collins have played in this game? Probably not.
No.
So what? I mean, so the fact that he came out and he's openly gay on that, and he should get an ovation. No, that's not why he wasn't signed for this show. He was signed to help them win.
It's not going to be a multi-city ovation.
Yeah,
tour.
exactly. He was signed to help them win games. Now that depends on the situation that they're in. I think he's probably more useful for them in situations where it's closer and they, freeing up guys and fouling and in certain situations. You don't want him to foul in those situations tonight. So just wasn't his night for him. Unfortunately, it was good to see him though. He seems in great spirits and I'm happy for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, for me, it's about the whole returning back to a place where you had a relationship with. Boston was definitely a city where I think he had a pretty good run and was a pretty popular guy. And usually coaches put in guys when they know they're going to get an ovation because they're returning back to a place they used to play, that kind of thing. That's something that NBA coaches usually tend to do.
He probably could have done
it for a 3-minute rotation.
Probably could have done it the last minute or something.
Yeah, because Collins wasn't he's not a matchup fit for this game. The Celtics are bringing out 6'8" guys, so Blatch and Plumlee are better matchups. So you understand the basketball decision there.
And I don't think that Collins has any personal connection to the city of Boston. While he was here, the fans never even noticed or cared that he was here. His connections
for half of a year.
I thought he was pretty well liked while he was here.
I think Collins was well liked in the locker room by Doc Rivers, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce. And guess who's not on the team anymore? Those guys.
Right.
So I don't think it's really a big deal to give an ovation in Boston. I've been actually surprised.
You don't want to single him out in a weird way.
Right. And there's actually been very little of a reaction from the fans when he comes into games. I watched his first game against the Lakers a couple weeks ago, and there was a little bit of clapping and a little bit of fanfare, but really it was 5 seconds, and then he just played basketball.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a big show-stopping ovation for him because he's just a basketball player doing his job.
All right. Well, now it's time for your ovation at home. You can get up and clap now the show's over. Congratulations. You made it through another episode of the Garden Report. So for Evans, for Jimmy, I am Jared Weiss. Another great edition of the Garden Report, I must say. Celtics blog and CLNS Radio.